Whatever you do in your life, please do not be a girl boss. And take it from me as someone who was a former girl boss. So I graduated with a degree in electrical engineering from a top engineering program. I hustled so much in my early 20s because I was like, I want to make it. I want to reach the top of the corporate ladder. And it did work to a certain extent. Like, I worked at Spotify, I worked at Uber, and I worked at DoorDash as well. But in the process of being a girl boss, I kind of lost my sanity and my physical health was going to the trash. I developed PCOS as a result of not taking care of myself, and it took me almost a year and a half to kind of get rid of my symptoms. And I still kind of struggle with it from day to day. And now that I'm just like a stay-at-home girlfriend, I just work out whenever, I freelance, and I kind of live life on my own schedule. And also my quality of life is so much better because I have a man who has provider energy, actually cares for me, has a problem-solving mindset, and he's just a man. Like, it's so hard even nowadays to even come across men who are actually men because I don't know what happened in this, what they put in the water or something, but now these men are like acting like women and it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, just don't be a girl boss. Take it from me as a retired girl boss. It's not worth it.
What used to be marketed as girl boss energy is now being repackaged as trad wife content. Different aesthetic, same opportunity to monetize the trend. Give it a few years, and the same people will likely be criticizing that era as well.
I truly believe that feminism is the worst thing that's ever happened to society. And I say that with knowing the fact that I am very privileged to be able to vote and to contribute to the democracy that I live in. It literally ruined everything. It ruined everything. Because in the 1950s or 60s or whatever, you could support a family of 4, 5, 6, whatever, on one salary. You could have a house and a car and 2 cars and send your kids to school, and gas was 50 cents and all this other garbage. And now people have to have 2 income households, or single moms are barely getting by. Single parents are barely getting by. On top of that, I'm now expected to work, which is the most trash thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. Maybe I feel that way because I don't have like a big, strong career or whatever, and I'm just a server. I love my kids. I think going to work and having to be separate from them, especially my son, he's 9 weeks old now, and I have to go back to work because we need the money. We're financially screwed if I didn't, right? My theory on feminism is that it was started by actually like big corporations, and it was so that they could get more people in the workforce and they could get more people to pay taxes, and so that the rich people could get richer. That's my theory on why feminism was actually started. Call me crazy.
Women spent decades pushing for total independence, the ability to work beside men and provide everything for themselves. Now you're starting to hear complaints about the very system they insisted on building.
Being a boss babe is the dumbest thing you could do as a girl. You were literally meant to live the dang soft life. I'm not saying you can't do the same thing as a man. I'm not saying you can't become a doctor or lawyer or anything like that, because God knows I have big plans for my life. If you're striving to just outwork a man just for the pure, simple pleasure of like, I'm better than you, the person that's winning is a man. Like, you should never have to work to the point that man to stay at home while you work your booty off, birth kids, and on top of that, come home and have to dictate the household and wear the pants. Then girl, what are you doing? Like, you're literally missing out on the whole purpose of being a woman.
Strange how this conversation barely existed 20 years ago. At the time, the focus was independence, breaking free from men, handling everything yourself, from flat tires to grocery runs. Now the narrative seems to be looping back around, and people are starting to reassess where all of that actually led.
You want to know something that most women aren't ready to hear? Modern feminism killed chivalry. Modern feminism has shifted from seeking equality to promoting superiority and resentment towards men, framing men as oppressors rather than partners and equals. With the birth of modern feminism, there came the birth of the girl boss, I don't need a man. Chivalry was never meant to make women look weak. It was made to create a culture of mutual respect where men acted honorably towards women and acknowledged their virtue and grace. Modern feminism, by demanding sameness instead of equality, has blurred those lines. In trying to erase gender differences, it's erased the gestures that celebrate them. The result of this is now we have an entire generation of men who are not willing to honor, pursue, or protect women. We have this entire generation of men who just want to hook up on the first date, who have no respect for women, who don't hold open the door, who don't buy flowers, and it is because of modern feminism. Not only that, but it is also a result of weak men. There's a reason that our grandparents have the cutest love stories where the men pursued the women and they didn't have sex until they were married and they respected and honored each other. And now we are seeing the result of the crash and burn of modern feminism. And unfortunately, it is affecting a lot of women looking for life partners and a lot of men looking for life partners. Feminism is great. The idea of feminism is great to promote equality, but it has evolved into something that is toxic and dangerous to our society.
At some point, a lot of men simply stop participating in the dating market. The cultural shift driven by modern feminism changed the incentives around relationships, and for many men, marriage no longer looked like a worthwhile trade.
Something that women say to me all the time: why don't you make your husband a sandwich? Okay. Is he hungry? Does he want a sandwich? Like, did he say something? I make my husband food. The last 4 nights, I made my husband dinner. Like, I don't understand this weird like, they're trying to shame women for taking care of their families. Like, that is another element of feminism that I cannot stand. It's an attack on family and these things that work. It works. Right. Men are biologically unable to have children. So the aspiration to climb a ladder forever, to wake up every single day and not have to worry about being pregnant for 9 months, I mean, that makes sense. We're different creatures, you know?
I think that's like a troll though. No, it's like all you're good for is like, yo, make me something to eat.
No, that whole concept came from rabid feminists. Like, there was something wrong with being in the kitchen, right?
Oh, okay.
And this was sort of this push of women get out of the home and go to work, which has made so many women miserable. So many women miserable. And most of them, when it's too late, because they feel this pressure now of like, oh, well, if I don't aspire to anything other than like family, then I'm going to somehow be a failure. And so they take on these jobs that a lot of them take on jobs that, you know, they know is not going to result in some budding career. Like, it's usually in fashion or textiles or something like that. When in reality, women want to be married, happily married. It's an admirable goal.
Yeah. A sandwich sounds pretty good though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if my husband ever wanted a sandwich, I'd make it for him.
It's interesting how much backlash Candace gets just for promoting a healthy lifestyle. Says more about the environment than it does about her. Strange that simple, healthy habits trigger that kind of reaction.
I fell for the boss bitch, I could do everything by myself, that hyper independent bullshit. And I'm 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this. Yo, what? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything. My values, my perspectives, what I really want in the future. And what I really want is a family. I feel like social media or just everything around us, society in general, wants to push that the woman is the future. No. The family is the future.
There are so many women that are going to be in this situation because they have been lied to. And there are a lot of men out there that want to have families that have been trying to say this. They have been trying to say that they just want a woman that is loving and caring in nature. They don't care if you're a boss babe. If anything, unfortunately, it might work against you. Now, for this woman, she's come to that realization with plenty of time. I think she's going to find what she wants.
At this point, she likely has a fairly extensive friend zone to choose from, so finding a solid partner probably isn't the issue. The real question is whether she'll recognize it before she lets too much time pass. There are usually a few dependable men already around, quietly waiting in the background. Whether she takes that opportunity or continues stalling is entirely up to her. If the message hit, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.